from Schroeder. It's a 24-point lead. A good old-fashioned blowout right now in Game 3.
30-point win after getting blown out in Game 2 for the Los Angeles Lakers. They take a 2-1 series lead over the defending champion Golden State Warriors. In fact, it's only the fourth time in the Splash Brothers era that they've lost a playoff game by 30 or more. 3D, a lot to break down on how it happened, but let's start with Anthony Davis because he was the big story coming in, right?
Yep.
25 points on just 10 shots. That's great, but 4 blocks, 3 steals really had a large impact on the game overall.
Well, I think we all would agree that's where Anthony Davis has made his name, go all the way back to his Kentucky day. So when he can put his imprint or his impact, as we like to say, on the defensive end, get those steals, get those deflections, the Lakers get out in transition, they get some easy buckets. And then the offense kind of comes. And then you saw throughout there in the first quarter, him attacking Draymond Green, not just selling for jump shots, but when he makes jump shots early in the ball game, it sets up everything else. Game 2, he was missing those easy shots right there. Tonight, he bounces back and makes those shots. So the question you ask yourself, or should I say Coach Ham's going to ask AD, can you give me that same effort on the defensive end first? Offensively, we know it's going to come. Like you and I just spoke earlier. D'Lo got him off to a great start going, hitting those quick 11 points. So now LeBron and AD took their time getting their offensive game going, knowing defensively they had to bounce back because the Warriors jumped out to that 30-23 lead after the first quarter.
Yeah, Anthony Davis made 11 free throws. The Golden State Warriors as a team made just 12. So you talk about the free throw discrepancy. There it is for you. All right, well, looking at D'Angelo Russell and how he started this game, D-Loden came out, scored the first 11 points for the Lakers. Look, they were down in the first quarter, but he was really the guy carrying that offense. Had 13 in the first quarter, 21 in the first half, finished the game with 21, but when they needed some scoring early, he really provided that.
Well, you give LeBron a lot of credit because you're watching the first quarter, he was like, is LeBron kind of just going through the motions? No, he saw D'Lo rolling. He had 7 shots, going 5 or 7 from the field, knocking down a few threes, being aggressive. So it really gave those guys a chance to get their legs under them, knowing that LeBron and AD had to cover the load like they did in the second half.
Yeah, and speaking of LeBron James and the kind of effort he gave, right? Yeah, we can look at the box score and go 21 points for LeBron James, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, especially after having 0 points in the first quarter. But 3D, there's a moment, right? And the Warriors seemed like they were gaining momentum in the third quarter, and LeBron James hustles back on defense, slaps the ball out of bounds, and then runs up the stairs, right? Like, what does that tell you about the kind of effort he was bringing tonight, especially when the game matters most right here?
Well, right here, LeBron reminded all us, yep, when you get in the old, there's no slowdown. That's that old truck.
No brakes.
That's that old truck, no brakes lane there where you can kind of ease out. But that spin cycle move to the basket, just playing the right way, putting his will on the game, as I like to say, and his touch. Yes, he may be getting a little older, but that touch still looks good.
Yeah, so for LeBron James and the Lakers, we look historically. Los Angeles Lakers in the series is tied 1-1, and they go and win Game 3 and take a 2-1 series lead. 60-7. Yes, they've had that many series in their long, storied franchise. Wow. But we often look at a 7-game series like, oh, it's going to go a long period of time. For the Warriors, 9-14 in their history, right? Why is Game 3 so important in a series?
We called that pivotal game because now in this series, it was split up at 1-1. So when you're coming home, you want to steal that at home. Because then if the Warriors win, then everybody be going crazy. Oh, the Warriors can go up 3-1 and go back home and close out the series. So Game 3 is always crucial for you to take care of your business at home. So when you look at the stat sheet, I think you hit around the head. If you'd have told me LeBron James would only have to take 11 shots and you win by 30 at home against the Warriors, you said there's no way. But after that first quarter, you got to give the Lakers defense a lot of credit. Being down 7 and you finish with 127 and it's 30-23 after the first quarter, they give the Lakers a lot of credit.
All right, there's the thing of point Steph that's out there. We know Steph Curry, greatest shooter of all time, right? But in tonight's game, just 3 assists. Last time out, 13 assists. And that's really, the scoring is going to be there. 23 points, made 4 threes, right? But what was the difference in tonight's game as opposed to Game 2 with Steph Curry in the sense of playing the traditional point guard role and getting everybody involved?
Oh, it's real simple. JaMychal Green, 1 of 5. Oh, Draymond Green, 1 of 4. Didn't Draymond have a couple threes in game 3? Didn't he have a couple left-hand layups when Steph was bounce pass and splitting the defense? So Steph was still being point. Jokers couldn't make no shots tonight. Let's call it what it is. The Lakers played solid defense, made Steph make those same passes, but guys were not making shots tonight. Draymond, those charges, yes, Draymond, those were blocked. They weren't charges. It kind of took him out of the flow of the game. I'm sure he'd admit that. So Steph was still trying to be a facilitator. Guys were not making the same shots they were making in game 2.
You mentioned Draymond Green, right? More fouls than points, more fouls than rebounds, more fouls than assists. Also had a technical foul. There are some nights where Draymond Green, you understand why he is a 4-time champion. And then there's other nights where you go, ooh, what's going on? This seemed like one of those nights where things just were not going right for him. Even when he tried to take charges, right, they were blocks. Nothing seemed to go his way.
Hey, we know one thing about Draymond. He wears his emotions on his sleeve. And for the most part, he's going to be honest with himself. He's going to go back and watch the tape and realize tonight he crossed the line. The tech was warranted. Both of those times he thought, you got to go look at the replay. You're still moving your feet. Those were blocks. Get up off the ground. Sometimes you just got to be straight up, contest. You've shown throughout game 2 you were contesting, playing good defense. Do the same thing in game 3. Tonight you got it wrong. Now you got to bounce back for game 4.
For those just tuning in to Playoff Central Live, not familiar with the show, just to let you know, we're going to hear from the stars, right? We hear from LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Steph Curry, so on and so forth. So if you're just tuning in, we appreciate you. Stick around. Okay, Lonnie Walker IV. Here's a guy that hasn't played, right? Comes in off the bench, 12 points, 4 for 6 from the field, playing some great defense. How surprising is it for a guy that had been out of the rotation to get this opportunity in a game that matters so much to be able to produce the way that he did?
This is where guys like Phil Handy and other assistant coaches on NBA rosters, this is why they get paid the big bucks. Because on days off, shoot-arounds before games, if you haven't been to an NBA game before, that's when you see those assistant coaches making these guys get on the floor early, get shots up, keep them engaged and keep them locked in, because the opportunity will not. To your question, Lonnie Walker was a part of the rotation throughout the season before they made the big trade. Then he goes to the bench. It's all up here because you never know when your name's going to be called. Him making a few shots helped the Lakers on the offensive end with their confidence, because now it permeates throughout the whole team. Same thing with Dennis Schroeder. He's 4-9 from the field tonight. Those guys making shots, you look back up and say, wait a minute, LeBron only took 11 shots tonight because everyone else was making them.
It's easy to look at this game and go, okay, the Lakers had a 34-point lead. They won by 30. This was the Lakers game. No. For the first quarter and a half, this felt like it was going to be the Splash Brothers and the Golden State Warriors. Clay and Steph had 18 in the first quarter combined, but the Lakers ended the second quarter on a 30-8 run. Then at the end of the third quarter, they go on a 10-0 run. How critical were those two runs in particular, the Lakers dominating this game?
Once again, Coach Ham deserves a lot of credit for reminding his players at halftime. We just finished out the half to those numbers you just came, and we held them to 18 points versus 30 in the first quarter. Now you jump on them the first 5 minutes in that third quarter. Now you can continue to ride that way. We're sitting back there watching the game like, okay, here we go. If the Lakers can hold this at 20, Steve Kerr did what we thought he was going to do, right? Started the fourth quarter, they make that run, he calls timeout and clears out the bench. You got to give the Lakers a lot of credit in their defense tonight.
So we've seen the adjustments work, right? So in game 2, the adjustment was, okay, Draymond Green, Kevon Looney, not on the floor at the same time. Clearly, Darvin Ham made an adjustment that worked for the Lakers. So if you're the Golden State Warriors right now, where do you make the next adjustment? How do you fix what happened in game 3? Because, look, yeah, it says 97 points on the board, but there were 82 points on the board when, the game was essentially called by Steve Kerr.
Didn't the Warriors have less than 10 turnovers in game 2?
Yep, in this one they had 19. Clay had 6 of them.
I got to say it again. It's the Lakers. As much as, Warrior fans are going to try to find an excuse for the Warriors tonight, no, it's about the Lakers tonight. They turned the Warriors over 19 times. And when you do that and you take care of the basketball, you got 27 points off of those turnovers. So then you go back to the stat sheet again. That's why LeBron didn't have to take but 11 shots. That's why Anthony Davis only had to take 10 shots, because their defense turned outside of the first quarter, Chris. It's 30-23. Everything else was all about the Lakers for the next 3 quarters. Just that simple.
Yeah, so in this postseason, the Golden State Warriors 0-3 when they have 18 or more turnovers.
There you
so
go.
There you go, 3D.
There you go.
Sometimes you know exactly what you're talking about.
You know why I know, Chris? Because in years past, even in their championship run, that was always their Achilles heel. Those nights when they didn't take care of the basketball and they gave other teams a chance to beat them. That's what happened tonight.
Well, Anthony Davis, again, 25 points on